Greetings and welcome my friends. You have come over to the shark side. This is Eraser, an Esper Control deck featuring a new blue enchantment from the latest set. The aim of the deck is to keep the board clear of enemy permanents, not including their lands of course. We are heavily anti-creature but also have ways of dealing with other permanent types. This is a very frustrating deck to play against for the opponent. It's the twin brother of a deck we did some time ago named Slow Mill 2. The objective is the same for that deck and this one. To run the opponent out of library without using any mill cards or to break their will to continue the fight. Erase their deck is the goal. We start off with small men removal. Cut down will deal with early threats and can even be used on some man lands. Use it whenever possible to thin out enemy squads. The Black March is a great removal spell. It can hit enemy walkers as well as men and gain us life for each damage dealt. Because it is an X spell, we'll try to hold on to it for later turns when we can pump plenty of mana into it. Pilfer is cheap, easy discard. Primarily we want to use this to gain information. We'll get to see what they're holding and better prepare ourselves. It will take out any card we don't want to see them play, but the information gained is invaluable. Sheoldred's Edict is more removal. It's great for when they play out a single man and nothing else. It can even be used to take out enemy walkers. The Stone Brain is a card we're trying out. With it we plan on sniping any card that can tilt the game in the opponent's favor before they can even use it. It's often best used after we've seen what they're holding in their hand. It does cost 4 mana total to play and activate it. For card draw we've gone with Silver Scrutiny. It is an X spell that can draw us X cards at sorcery speed or up to 3 cards at instant speed. We're playing over other cards for the cost reduction that we get with the very next card we're looking at. And that is the case of the Ransacked Lab. The immediate effect is it will reduce the cost of our instants and sorceries by 1 mana. It might not seem like much, but with 2 or 3 of them in play, it will become a huge advantage. With 3 of them in play, we can draw 3 cards from Scrutiny by paying only 2 blue mana. The case is not easy to solve, but we generally will not try solving it until we have multiples in play. When solved, every instant and sorcery we play will draw us a card. In multiples this means we can fire off an Edict and draw 2 or 3 cards. And the cost reduction will still be in effect, so we'll be paying just 1 black mana and draw a card for each case we have in play that's solved. In this deck, that's absolutely nuts. Devious Cover-Up is our only counter in the deck. We really don't want to be deploying 1-for-1 counter spells when we have so many ways of dealing with any problematic permanents. The counter is for cards like Breach or Opposing Farewells. It'll also restock our library with useful cards we have in our grave. With the potential card draw we have, this could be very critical to keeping us from decking ourselves. Rankle's Prank is a great way of thinning out enemy teams. We'll generally only use the sacrifice option, but if we're ahead on life we can use the lose life option. This is a great way to eliminate a pair of men, including any indestructibles or hex-proof men. The End is an amazing spell. We'll fire it off and eliminate big threats from the game for good. There is no hiding when we hit enemy men with this. It's another great way to gain information and to see what they have in their deck. Sunfall is the big sweeper for men. We'll take out whatever they have on board and it'll be gone for the rest of the game. Plus we'll get an incubator token that we can transform into a token man. This is one of the better sweepers since nothing can survive it. We have a single copy of Flotsam and Jetsam. In a pinch, we can use Flotsam to get some card draw, but what we really are looking to do is to use Jetsam and use one of their own cards against the opponent. It is a hefty 6 mana, but keep in mind that we are playing with a case that lowers the mana cost of sorcery spells. Finally we have a pair of Farewells. The best anti-permanent card that's ever been made. It sweeps up all men, enchantments, artifacts, and can even clear out graveyards if the opponent is abusing his grave. A well-timed farewell can often be what breaks their will to continue the fight. For lands we have a pair of Field of Ruin. We'll look to take out any special lands that are causing problems like Mirrex. Man lands can also be taken out with the field, but try to save this specifically for lands that cannot be hit with removals. We're playing 4 Ruffine's Tower, the Esper land that we can cycle away. We have 4 Shipwreck Marsh, the Black-Blue Duel. We're playing only 3 Restless Reef, the Black-Blue Man land. We went with 3 to make room for some basics as well as to limit the number of lands that enter play tapped. After turn 2, only this and the tower will enter play tapped. We have 3 Shattered Sanctum, the White-Black Duel. 3 Deserted Beach, the Blue-White Duel. 1 Swamp. 1 Otawara, Soaring City. We will do the best we can to not put this land in play, as we really want to use it as a way to bounce a permanent that can't be countered. 1 Island and 1 Plains. 1 Aganjo, Seat of the Empire. As with the Otawara, We'd really prefer to use this as removal at a critical moment instead of playing it as a land. As with any control deck, playing this deck does require use of your judgment early and throughout the game. You'll have to judge when to play certain cards, which removal is best to use, when to use a counter, and when to play a case or a stone brain. Generally, an early Pilfer is a great way to start the game. The information gained from that card can be critical to navigating the correct plays later. This is one of my favorite style of decks to play. It's super hard control with minimal counter spells. But when you get things just right, it feels very rewarding. That's the deck, ladies and shark men. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Manny Oofus. Manny is a nice first name, but that last name, bro. I don't know. The shuffler likes us and we start off with a 3-lander. We don't have any removals, but we do have the end to prevent our death. As we like to say around here. Keep your pants on. They have a swamp and a forest. Undying Golgari would definitely be a challenge to play against. Bring it, bro. The only fear we have is fear of downloading Brown. If you know what I'm saying. A maverick. He looks nothing like Tom Cruise. So we're not afraid. They follow up their maverick with an old Rustain. I'm not sure they brought the right men for this fight. It's all 1 power guys. And one of them is rather old. He probably uses dentures. Your men are all bite and no teeth, bro. We'll drop our case now and get to work using the discount benefit once we untap. It's their turn 4 and they still haven't found their teeth. I mean, we can totally afford to chill. That's the first thing we've seen so far that has any teeth left in their skull. Congrats, Nemida, you shall eat this counter. In case you didn't notice, they dropped a Restless Cottage. That is another thing to be concerned about. We'll take it out now with our Field of Ruin. We took their house to Chomp City under the free of charge relocation program. You're welcome, bro. Wow, a Ren and 7. We were not expecting that.
Speak your purpose. The entire forest.
Their token man is only a 4/4, but it can only get worse for us from here. We'll snipe Ren at the end of their turn.
The forest will be overrun.
Their 4/4 has to go. He doesn't have any pants. We'll take this opportunity to steal a quick glance through their deck. Then we'll use our last 2 mana to drop Stone Brain. I'm sure the opponent has been stoned before. I mean, look at some of the cards he's playing. That brown stain, rust stain, has been making them a lot of tokens. We'll have to try and do something about their squad. We are at half our starting life. It's time to pump their brakes. Let's max out this scrutiny. We'll want to hit one of our sweepers. 6 mana to draw 5 cards is a pretty good rate. And we drew a Sunfall. Play something big and juicy. But no, it's just a black virtue. They're looking to get back a 1/1, lol. Ladies and shark men, we're firing off a 3 mana Sunfall. It's such a surprise, the enemy squad is boarding the bus to Chomp City without a chance to pack some bags for their vacation. Just flip your underpants inside out for a second day's use, bro. That is probably the least scary man that has ever been brought back by a black virtue in the history of MTG. They drop a Glissa, and it would be frightening, but we still have a lot of options in hand. Including a second Scrutiny, which we can pump more mana into this time. We'll drop our third case and follow it up with our prank. It's not a very funny prank, is it, Manny? It's time to charge in for a hit. Thanks to all their men, we have a nice beefy token. We can't attack past Glissa, but we can send these men to Chomp City. Glissa will never be seen again. Get gone, girl. We'll refuel our hand and draw 5 cards. We'll leave 2 mana up in case we need to counter something. They do nothing on their turn, so we'll activate our incubator. 2/2 is not as good as the 6/6 token we had, but he can still get the job done. With or without pants. Apparently we've already played a land. Let's drop the 4th and last case. Our farewell is only 2 white mana now. I'm sure if we said that out loud, the opponent would have leaky trousers. This is the part where we both draw land the rest of the game. This is why we include lands that cycle. Sure, they might get you in trouble sometimes when you need an untapped land, but in cases like this they are so good. I was about to bounce their virtue, but let's wait until the end of their turn. We'll bounce it then make them discard it with Pilfer, lol. We drew Flotsam and Jetsam. Now we'll Edict them, pilfer their hand for the virtue, then play Jetsam to get the virtue on our side, lol. After all that, our spell count is at 3. We'll just fire off Farewell to solve our cases. Now whenever we play an instant or sorcery, we'll draw 4 cards as well. Manny remembers he has a long date with his porcelain throne. GG's. This is Dux. The less mighty version. He's all dino and no might. This is a very good 3-lander. We've got early removal, a Pilfer, draw and a powerful removal. Keep. His avatar did not lie. They do look to be on dinos. We'll either tame these mighty beasts or we'll get eaten alive. What will it be? Their pal can't be left alive. The line to board the bus is this way, young miss. I don't think I've seen a dino list with this in it. I don't think it's something I'd put in a dino deck. It is a good way to find a 3rd land. Congrats, bro. Drawing a case is always good, but most especially when there are no threats on the other side. A little dino buddy. It's cute but very vulnerable to cut down. He's small, but he doesn't fit on the bus. We'll have to strap him to the front. Have a nice trip, bro. They drop Trow and bring down their Bonehead. It's a nice big beefy mountain of dino meat. One we can't resist cooking with the end. Pack your bags, Bonehead. We need a reload. We'll tap everything, even their mom, to draw 4 cards. We got a pair of sweepers and a prank. I'm pretty sure they won't think it's a funny prank. They go with a hulking raptor. It might be hulking, but it's not something to be afraid of with the hand we have. The game is pretty much over, we just have to wait for their will to break. I like Farewell in this position. It'll take care of their dino as well as their artifact. GG's mate. They bring down the 3 mana 6/6. This guy is going to need a bus all to himself. Let's fire off the Pilfer and see the other card they're holding. It's a double removal hand for them. Now that they don't have anything great, we'll pack up their big beast. This dino deck has been thoroughly dismantled. They drop a little buddy. Give them an A for effort, they keep thinking they have a chance. We'll cycle this land and try for something we'll be able to use. The Black March is perfect. It's instant removal with life gain added onto it. I was going to snipe their little dino, but now that they have 2 men, we'll wait to fire off our Sunfall and get a second token. Surely they knew that was coming. We'll activate our shark land and swing in. I thought for sure they would have given up by now, but they need further convincing the game is over. The game has been over for a while, but bro keeps going. Gotta hand it to them, they are not giving up. Are they already building a different deck? Are they on their way to Taco Bell for some food? Are they looking on eBay for some courage? Another baby dino. Do you think they'll block with it? Let's find out. Is trading blows something they're willing to try to do? They take the hit. According to them, it's still too early to start blocking. They're aiming at one of our shark lands. We'll tap it for a mana before it gets sniped. That way our Black March will be with X equal to 5 instead of just 4. Bro, you've done 1 damage all game. What kind of deck are you playing? This scrutiny is huge. We'll fire it off for 6 fresh cards. This should make their head explode. GG's. To my surprise, we are still playing this game. Bro is fighting to the last point of life. Well, okay then. Thankfully, after this hit we'll only need 1 more attack step. They off our token. That token's mom is shedding some real tears. We'll take out their tiny dino at the end of their turn. Now it'll be GG's.